You see, the Biden administration found very specific money for the Asians, very specific money for the LGBTQs, very specific reparations for the illegal immigrants, not citizens, by the way, very specific money for Afghan relief, very specific money for Israel, completely different country, and on and on and on. All this under Biden administration. But when black people are asking for specific reparations, can we get some specific reparations, Kamala Harris?
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No, no, no.
But he certainly would support a study of reparations. We understands that we don't need a study to take action right now on systemic racism, so he wants to take actions within his own government in the meantime.
So Joe Biden said he want to study reparations before he give reparations for black people. But how long did he study the anti-Asian hate bill before he gave the Asian community $156 million? And how long did he study before he gave the anti-LGBTQ hate bill $100 million? And how long did he study before he asked Congress for $30 billion for Afghan relief? And how long did he study after giving Israel $3.8 billion? But now Joe Biden has another group that he wants to give reparations to.
Administrations and negotiations to pay millions of dollars in reparations to families who were separated at the U.S.-Mexico border under Trump's zero-tolerance policy. The payments would amount to $450,000 per person.
I'm not gay no more. I am delivered. I don't like men no more. I said I like women. Women. I said women. I'm not gay. I would not date a man. I would not carry a purse. I would not put on makeup. I will love a woman. Now listen, y'all praise God.
Salaam Alaikum. Mr. Moderator, our distinguished guests, brothers and sisters, our friends and our enemies.
Bismillah wa salatu wa salam Rasulullah wa ba'd. In the name of Allah, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon his last and final messenger. Family, friends, foes, haters, and hateettes, welcome back to the Feachaz. I greet you all in peace and love with no hatred in my heart. Assalamu Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So before we begin, please like, please subscribe, and please share. As you know, we got a lot of haters up in here. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all know the news that is spreading around Muslim YouTube about certain Islamic da'is distancing themselves from certain alt-right da'is, and I hate to gloat. No, I'm lying. I love to gloat, but we're not going to mention no names. We are not going to mention names, but we are going to say, told ya, and told ya. So, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sister Tika. Like, subscribe, and share, and hit me up on the Patreon. You know, we got hella haters. Hella haters. And family, this topic, what that is going on with Kyrie Irving, the basketball player, is such a profound topic, because we have been dealing with this issue of buck breaking and public lynching and the utter anti-black sentiment from all kinds of communities, including the Muslim community. And now you find these pretenders to be allies to black folk trying to not put Kyrie Irving in line and put him in his place, but rather the entire NBA, and send a message to rich black folk everywhere that they are the paymasters. They are the ones who are in charge, And even though they are in charge, you are not allowed to say it because it's supposed to be some sort of secret. It's supposed to be some sort of, je ne sais quoi. It's not supposed to be out there like that. So, family, if you ask, what is a Muslim? Most of you would get the same or similar answers. You would say that a Muslim is someone who submits his will to Allah because this is the correct answer. Y'all heard me. But there's also a deeper meaning behind the essence of what a Muslim is. Because submitting our will to Allah, this is, what Muslim means, and it is indeed correct. But however, a major part of our submission to the will of Allah is to be of service and of benefit to all mankind in general. Why would Allah go through the trouble of sending down prophets, sending down books, sending down messengers, strengthening the prophets with righteous followers, punishing and destroying wicked people and nations, unless he is using righteous human beings to be of value to other human beings and the planet itself? So we, as Muslims, are obligated to serve humanity. Y'all hearing me? Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Brother Asiatic. Hayakum Allah. So we are obligated to serve humanity in general. Y'all hearing me? And to help them and aid them by calling that which is righteous and forbidding the evil and making Allah's name be thoroughly invoked and his guidance followed, and excel in every aspect of life with honor and dignity and manners. Those of us who are Muslims, we are submitting our wills to Allah, yes, right? Which requires us to not only submit our will to Allah, but it necessitates to serve oppressed people. Y'all hearing me? And to serve them wherever they may be, whether they're a Muslim or whether they're not Muslim. And those of us who are Black Muslims, then our responsibility is multiplied because we come from these very same oppressive conditions. So we have an invested interest to burn down Babylon. Y'all hearing me? We have a further zeal and invested interest to cause the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, because we come from these conditions. Y'all hearing me? And it is very easy for us to recognize our enemy and the enemy of Allah. It's very easy. We can recognize that our enemy and the enemy of Allah on earth, because they're not hiding with regards to us. With regards to Black people, they are not hiding. And as a matter of fact, they are proud. They're boastful. Y'all hearing me? They're arrogant in their direct opposition to Allah and in spreading injustice and chaos through the entire earth. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Brother Seema. Hayakum Allah. So anyways, so now we have an invested interest in making Allah's name high within the earth. Because we come from the darkness. And indeed, to Allah we belong. And indeed, we will absolutely return to Allah. So us, Black Muslims, we have a very powerful enemy, correct? The enemy which causes injustice and chaos throughout the earth. But not only that, they monetize and they reward those who prop up their devilish systems while calling these devils godly and holy and righteous. Do we not know some Muslims right now, powerful, influential Muslims on YouTube, influencers, okay? Do we not know some of them who openly side with the enemy? Yes or no? Put it in the chat, please. They openly side with the enemy, and their entire platforms are built in order to make sure that Muslims pick a side with regards to the enemy of Allah. Do we not know some Muslim platforms that do this? Yep, says Sister Tika. Yep, says Asiatic. Yep, says Brother Andre Williams. Yep, says MG. The sellouts, of course, they have massive platforms. We give them that work all the time here. And you do not find any other platform on YouTube or otherwise that give them that work, because we know exactly who they are. This is, you can say, the insight of Black folk. Because we've been dealing with this enemy so long that anybody that comes along and tries to side with them, we're instantly able to tell who the bones and the biscuits are. We know what a butter biscuit is. We've been dealing with biscuitry and meritorious manumission Negroes for the better part of 300 years now. You can't tell us nothing. We know what a sellout looks like. Muslims who are shameless in their siding with Allah's enemies. Y'all hearing me? And despite all that, despite the enemy monetizing and rewarding our destruction, and publicly humiliating anybody that stands up for us, assassinating our heroes, and putting on dollar bills and making statues of our murderers. Despite all that, despite Muslims coming and siding with that, we still became Muslim. Why? We didn't become Muslim because of you. We became Muslim because of Allah. We can tell the difference between somebody who sells their principles and somebody who's sincere in them. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Islam for Europeans. And y'all are probably wondering, well, what does this have to do with Kyrie Irving? We're getting to that. We're getting to that. All of this is going to tie in, okay? I promise you, just stay with me now, okay? We recognize the truth. So us Black Muslims, in the face of our powerful enemies, those who have ownership and the keys to wealth and education and the power of employment and military might and judicial and law enforcement powers. These people, in the face of all of that, it is us who are obliged by our faith to tell our people the truth. You get it? We are obliged to stand on the truth and to tell our people the truth, no matter what is in front of us in terms of the power and the might of the enemy. You get it? That indeed is because to Allah we belong, and to Allah we will surely return. And He, Allah, is far more powerful than any of our enemies on earth, and any of our enemies that He has put in our way, He put them in our way to show us His power. If you think they are powerful, imagine how powerful Allah is. You hear me? Y'all hearing me? So do not fear them, but fear Allah, and you will surely be successful. And what does all this have to do with Kyrie Irving, family? Well, I'm getting to that now. I'm tying it in now. Okay? The phenomenon that we are witnessing right now, which is causing the black masses to wake up in such a widespread manner, can be described as outstanding. Okay? And what will end up happening is that black folk will be looking for guidance, because we've been here before. We've seen how black people united, for example, against DJ Vlad. We've seen how black people united against them, and then, after some time, they forgot about that. Then we've seen how they united behind Nick Cannon before he got brutally buck-broken and publicly buck-broken. You get it? Then we've seen how black folk united behind Kanye for the very same reason that they're uniting behind Kyrie. And Kyrie is not showing any signs of backing down in the face of the enemy. So black people now, what is the call of black people today? Black people now are calling for unity, correct? Their eyes have been opened to the absolute lack of control of resources and the lack of power and the real power behind their, what's the word I'm looking for? Obtrusive and hostile entertainment. The mind control machine, which is called hip hop and R&B, controlled by wicked hands in order to fill up privatized jails and make us a very few men incredibly powerful and incredibly rich. They're seeing it now. Black people are seeing it now. They're seeing that sports is a means of numbing your senses to the reality of your condition so that your brain is in tune with some athlete somewhere. So instead of putting your time and effort into your community, you're putting your time and your effort into stats and figures and skills with a ball or on a court. And instead of being a participator, you become a spectator. Y'all hearing me? Black people are getting savvy to that now. Black people are the #1 consumers of entertainment. Y'all hearing me? And now the call of boycotting the NBA and boycotting Nike. Black people have called to boycott a lot of things. But this is the first time I've actually witnessed the call for boycott in such a manner that it might actually happen, right? At this time, it might actually happen. Black people are waking up. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Brother Andre. Y'all hearing me? However, this enemy has been at it for close to 5 centuries, four centuries plus. And they have mastered the art of tricknology. And as long as they're able to monetize your indoctrination and have you invest in it, it will be just a matter of time until you forget, which is where Islam comes in. You get it? I don't think Kyrie is going to back down from this. So this will be an extended wake-up call. In my humble opinion, it'll be extended. How many times has this happened within the last couple of years? Y'all hearing me? Did they not buck break publicly Nick Cannon? Did they not publicly humiliate one of their supposed own, right? A true establishment Negro that has been fighting a good fight for white folks for 3 decades, Whoopi Goldberg, okay? They publicly humiliated her. Y'all hearing me? They called Marcus Garvey an anti-Semite. They called W.E.B. Du Bois an anti-Semite. They called Martin Luther King an anti-Semite. Malcolm X an anti-Semite. Jesse Jackson an anti-Semite. Al Sharpton an anti-Semite. And on and on and on and on and on and on and on. What's happening this time is a thing called resonance. Do y'all know what resonance is by any chance? What is resonance? Okay. Resonance is when you have sound waves. Okay. Sound waves, they move. They can move either in a pulse formation or a wave type of formation, right? So if the pulses are moving together, if they mesh together, then they become louder. And that is called resonance. What we have so far is a resonating message with Black people with regards to Kanye. Because Black people have known this for donkey years. We knew very well who the hands were behind our entertainment, our music, our sports industries. And we knew very well that these industries were meant to indoctrinate us. And still, we invested in it. You get me? Take our entertainers and athletes as leaders. We're the only community on earth that does that. No community on earth would ever take their entertainers or athletes as leaders, with the exception, of course, of Pakistan. Sorry, y'all, but y'all know Imran Khan. Come on now. But anyways, if you look at, I'm going to take y'all to the Bible for a little bit, if you don't mind. Okay, those of us who are Black and Christian, some of y'all might remember the story of Joshua and the walls of Jericho, right? We're tying this in with the resonance now. And if you don't know, let me just remind you. Okay. So Joshua was ordered to take the Israelites to this place called Jericho. And Jericho was a fortified city. Okay. Modern, they had, much better technology than these desert Israelites, of course. So the Israelites, they're looking at Jericho and they're like, how are we, us, the lowly, going to take over Jericho, right? So God orders Joshua, and he orders Joshua to take his people with some horns. He just orders them to take horns. They're like, why are we bringing these? Can you imagine you're going to war, but you're bringing horns? Can you imagine? You're going to war, but you are bringing horns. Okay, so Joshua now, he orders his people to bring horns to Jericho, right? And mind you, Jericho has these massive walls fortifying the city. So God orders Joshua, according to the Bible, he orders the people to walk around Jericho 6 times. Okay? Walk around it. Okay? And then on the 7th time, they're all supposed to line up around the walls of Jericho. Okay? Now listen, y'all. So they did that. Then God orders Joshua to tell the Israelites to blow on the horns. Who remembers the story, y'all? So they blow on the horns. And what happens to the walls of Jericho? Who remembers? Who remembers? Where are the former Bible studies people at? What happened to the walls of Jericho when they blew the horns? What happened? Do y'all remember? Who remembers what happened to the walls of Jericho? All the Israelites blew the horns, and then what happened? Does anybody remember? Is it just me? I'm the only one who knows? I can't be the only one who knows. Come on, y'all. Thank you, Andre. The walls fell. The walls of Jericho fell when they blew the horns. Why? Resonance. Are y'all hearing me? Because people are resonating with Kyrie Irving. The enemy now believes that the walls holding up and showing up and protecting that system is going to come down. And that's why they're trying to destroy Jericho. But they didn't expect the grassroots to support Kyrie in a manner in which they're doing now. Because they're so used to the buck breaking working. This is what they're used to. They're used to the buck breaking and the public lynching working. But now what they're seeing is the black grassroots surrounding their system. And a resonating message of unity. Y'all hearing me? So now, it is incumbent that Muslims don't just do what they've been doing because foreigners told them not to get involved with the poor, the oppressed, the black. We need to be right there in the front lines because change is coming. Change is coming. There's a resonating message happening right now. And of course, the enemy with all the resources and all the armies and the weaponry and the intelligence, of course, they're going to try to stomp this resonating message out, but they cannot. The one thing they cannot and will never stomp out is the message of Allah. The message of Allah. You get it? No amount of wealth and military might can stomp out the message of Allah. It can't. It can't. And that's why the call for unity might actually stick this time. It's very possible. It's very possible. Because Kyrie, he's standing up. Kyrie, he's standing up. And because black people are so intrigued by their entertainers and their athletes, they're paying attention to this. You get it? They're paying attention to this. So I'm putting the link there in the chat right now. If anybody wants to join me. This is pretty much what I wanted to say, you know. But if anyone wants to join me, put a link in the chat right now. Let me just get to some of these comments here. See if I can skip by some of the comments here. Let's see here. There's only so much he could have done as PM. Allah knows best how he did. Yeah, Imran Khan. Yeah, he's a cricket player. You know, they basically brought that model to Pakistan. You know, like it's the same thing with black folk. You give them an entertainer, black people will take him as a leader. You know, it's a trick. It's a plot because leadership is supposed to come from the grassroots. Your leader's not supposed to be handpicked by your enemies. You get it? So Imran Khan, he's not a politician, he's a cricket player, you know? So they thought they can control him easily, you know? But I don't know, man. It's like some madness happening in the world. Let's go over here. Guys know that better than sound class. Okay, Richard Verlaine, he says, I'd like to see more dialogue with white and black ethnic nationalists. I don't know about that one. I don't know. I don't know about that one, though. Let's see. So Richard is asking, does the link turn on the camera? You can turn your camera off. You don't have to turn your camera on if you want to hop on. Right? I'm going to give it a couple of minutes. It's kind of early still a little bit. Let's see. Let's get through some of these comments. Since I got a little bit of time, I just want to address this one thing, right? Richard Verlin says the Nation of Islam met with George Lincoln Rockwell. Yep. Even Marcus Garvey met with the Ku Klux Klan, right? It's just because it's a different time now. And Black people have been burnt so many times by white nationalists and things of that nature. I'm thinking that in my head it's kind of futile, right? So thoughts on the Kanye situation? Well, like I mentioned before, Kanye is just an entertainer. Even Kyrie Irving, he's just a basketball player, right? We don't take him. We're not supposed to be taking our marching orders from them, right? So Kanye went out, and he wore the White Lives Matter T-shirt, and I was like, but the only reason why I talked about that is because, of course, your alt-right, Zaddy-loving, white nationalist enthusiast, Daniel Hikikuchu, when Kanye West wore the White Lives Matter T-shirt, he couldn't resist. They had to write an article about it on the Muslim Skeptic. You get me? So, of course, we had to give him that work. He didn't say anything when Kanye got blasted by the Jews in them. It was us who said something. It was us. You get it? That's just, they have an agenda. And their agenda is to push Muslims to the alt-right. And guess what? No other channel has put out more work against Daniel Hikikuchu than the Feachaz channel. We have an entire playlist. And now everything that we predicted is coming into fruition. Every single thing. Sajid distancing himself from him. Sheikh Uthman distancing himself from him. Whatchamacallit? All these people are like, oh, he's Khariji. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying, you didn't know that before? You didn't know that before? Didn't I say this would happen? Didn't I say that eventually he will get so big that you'll be forced to distance yourselves from him? Because he's not Salafi? And people are going to start asking you questions? Y'all look for later, man. These guys are jokers, man. They're not serious. As a matter of fact, they're only serious about their, growing their platform. So that's why they do this craziness. They do some incredibly irresponsible things. Look at Muhammad Hijab and Jordan Peterson. You know what I mean? Muhammad Hijab in front of hundreds of thousands of Muslims watching Jordan Peterson, who was gone, by the way. Who was gone. Jordan Peterson was out. The Muslims, by ijma, okay? By ijma, we're done with Jordan Peterson. Who invited him back in? Who invited him back in? It was Muhammad Hijab. Jazakallah khair, brother Kevdi, hayakumullah. May Allah reward you and bless you and multiply it for you 10,000-fold. Hayakumullah. Thank you so much for your generosity. Brother Kevdi says, not just work, it's quadruple overtime. Wow, mashallah. Mashallah. Looky here. Looky here. Because you're asking about Kanye. I know you asked about Kanye. But Kanye is not the issue. The issue is the buck breaking. That buck breaking is not for Kanye. That bucket breaking is for you. Who made Kanye a billionaire to begin with? The vast majority of your black billionaires became billionaires because of entertainment. And I think LeBron James is the first billionaire from sports, black billionaire from sports. Oprah, entertainment. Jay-Z, entertainment. Kanye, entertainment. Who else is a black billionaire? So they just give just enough Negroes the rewards, the biscuits, just enough to make sure that you Negroes are thoroughly indoctrinated into trying to be like them. We are the only people on earth that run around trying to be rappers and have our girls be Thaddeonis on Instagram and stuff like that. Suki with the good coochie and stuff. Are you kidding me? Jazakallah khair, hayakumullah, brother Josh. May Allah reward you and bless you and multiply it for you 10,000-fold. Hayakumullah, thank you so much for your generosity. Alhamdulillah for the grassroots. Alhamdulillah for the black grassroots. Alhamdulillah for the black grassroots. It's been a long time coming. Y'all hearing me? Alhamdulillah for the black grassroots. These people are there to make sure that you are indoctrinated and you consume things that are meant to keep you indoctrinated. You get it? That's what it's about. But imagine now, even Kyrie, he made an amazing point. He made an amazing point. He said this trope. Even we used to hear it as a kid. If you want to confuse a black person, give them a book. This is what they think about you. You can ask my sister. I be reading almost daily. I try to make it a point, even if it's for 5 minutes. Daily, I have to read something. I can't just go to sleep without reading nothing. I have to read. And I don't mean Facebook posts, okay? I have to read a book. You get it? We have dreams of being on the court. That's a black boy's dream, to be on the court, to be on the field. Even Dr. What's her face, man? I have her book somewhere. What's her name again? Frances Cress Wilson. She mentions this in her book, actually, right? She mentions this in her book. The ISIS papers. So we have dreams of being ballers and stuff. Why do we dream like that? We dream like that because we're conditioned to dream like that. So we pay attention to people like Kanye West. We'll pay attention to people like Kyrie Irving. You get it? Instead of aspiring to be like Dr. Frances Cress Wilson, Dr. Bilal Phillips, Dr. Abdullah Hakeem Quick, Dr. Boyce Watkins, Dr. Claude Anderson, and on and on and on. We allow entertainers and basketball players to be our thought leaders. Can you imagine right now if what's that guy's name, man? The Chinese basketball player. Ming, what's it? Is it Ming Yao? Yao Ming, right? Can you imagine if Yao Ming went back to China and said, you know what? I'm going to be a major part of the Chinese Communist Party and be a thought leader for the people. You think that, yeah, Yao Ming, yeah. You think he can go back to China and do that? You think he can do that? Of course not. That's something that is specific to you. And as our brother Rob, Islam for Europeans, put out here, and black people, this should be seared in your minds. Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change what is in their own souls. Ameen. Exactly. None of their think tanks have entertainers. That's for you, and that's by design. Who said it? MG. By design. Yes, that's by design. Of course it's by design. Anyways, brothers and sisters, I would like to thank you all for joining me tonight. I think, I hope this live was beneficial for you. The resonance, you have to resonate with the people, especially black Muslims. It's inexcusable that you have this truth and you're not bringing it to the people. Absolutely inexcusable. And you'll be asked about it on Yom Qiyamah. I'd like to thank the brother Kev D, Hayakumullah, for your generosity. Again, everybody say Ameen. May Allah reward you and bless you and multiply it for you 10,000-fold. And the brother Josh, may Allah reward you and bless you. And thank you so much for your generosity and multiply it for you 10,000-fold. Hayakumullah. I'd like to thank the brother Rob again as well. Hayakumullah. Thank you for participating. Thank you so much for your generosity, brother Rob. May Allah reward you and bless you, multiply it for you 10,000-fold. I'd like to thank everybody who joined the live tonight. Okay. Like, subscribe, share this live. Resonance Muslims. Resonate with the people. Don't chase them away. Do not chase them away. You see a downtrodden people, those are the first people that you should be bringing to Islam. Not the enemy of Islam, the open enemies. People who hate Islam, you inviting them? Have you not read Abasa wa Tawalla? What is Abasa wa Tawalla? What is Abasa wa Tawalla? He frowned and he turned away. Anja'ahulama, because we came to him a blind man. He is running, a blind man. To Allah, that poor blind man was worth way more than that rich, arrogant leader of the Arabs. You get it? Power comes from the ground up today. Subhanaka bihamdik wa ashhadu la ilaha illa ant wa astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.
We are the Muslim wing of the black grassroots. Unapologetic, strong, uncompromising voices that have been in the faces of the enemy and those who tap dance for them. The Feachaz is proud to present the archives exclusively on Patreon.